When conflict outweighs peacekeeping endeavors, what's the way forward for peacekeepers? Well, with the conflict in the Central African Congo seemingly going out of control, a top United Nations official said yesterday, Wednesday, during a visit to the Republic of Congo, that peacekeepers should withdraw from the conflict-torn Central African country as quickly as possible, yet responsibly. Addressing reporters in the capital, Kinshasa, UN Under-Secretary General for Peacekeeping Operations, Jean-Pierre Lacroix, also warned that the Congolese state had to step up its own response to armed groups to avoid creating a security void that would be fatal. Well, let's see this video courtesy of African News.
We're obviously going to continue this work and at the same time work with the Congolese authorities so that, as I said, the process of the Congolese state becoming more powerful will enable us to gradually reduce MONUSCO's presence, but to do so responsibly. Once again, I would like to stress that there must be no security vacuum, which would be fatal to these populations.
Democratic Republic of Congo, known as MONUSCO, is one of the largest and costliest in the world. With an annual budget of around $1 billion, it has been present in the country since 1999. The force has a current strength of about 16,000 uniformed personnel, mainly deployed in Congo's east, a mineral-rich region that militias have plagued for 3 decades. But the UN comes in for sharp criticism in Congo, where many people perceive the peacekeepers as failing to prevent violence. Dozens of people were killed during anti-UN protests last year.
Well, at the news conference in Kinshasa, Lacroix acknowledged frustration with the United Nations, with the levels of insecurity remaining alarming, but added that false rumors are also often spread about peacekeepers. Hundreds of thousands of displaced people in eastern Congo receive protection almost exclusively, he says, from UN troops. He also added, noting that those people often urge the UN to stay.
Well, nevertheless, Lacroix said the UN, responding to the demand of Congolese authorities, wants to withdraw as quickly as possible. But he stressed that the transition needs to be carried out in gradual and responsible way, and that there is need to have a rise in strength in the services of the state.
Now, the UN Under-Secretary General also explained that MONUSCO's mandate limits the help it can provide to other regional forces in eastern Congo. An East African Community military force is currently present in the region. Southern African states are also due to deploy troops. Armed groups have plagued much of eastern Congo for 3 decades, a lot of regional wars that flared in the 1990s and 2000s.
While on such groups, the M23 has captured swaths of territory in North Kivu province since they're taking up arms again in late 2021 after years of dormancy. The rebel campaign has displaced over 1 million people. Well, according to the UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, from this top UN official's point of view, the peacekeepers should just leave the Republic of Congo with its conflict instead of doing what the sole idea of peacekeeping organization is about, which would be to try to restore peace. So he's saying, just leave them to their way and their war.
Well, taking a more critical look at even the only months-old in South Sudan was made, are the international community and the United Nations saying it could indeed not do anything to bring the war to a conclusive end, or at least close to an end, or it's just not their problem, while the immediate evacuation of citizens and nothing conspicuous done. Well, a conspiracy theory Africans have come up with in recent times has it that the international community or the United Nations will not come to save any nation unless that nation or the international bodies have something to gain from those nations. One might be tempted to look into this conspiracy theory deeply. When was the last time these international bodies actually saved any nation after they called out to them for help? Well, that's just a food for thought.